Okay, it's another week. It's the Hot Seat Radio Show. Donovan Sadiq and Tae Wild of the Wilder. And this is going to be a real quick segment as Tae has a recital to go to with her youngest, correct?
Yes, I'm excited.
And he's a instrumentalist. Yeah, he's an instrumentalist playing clarinet. How long has he been playing?
This entire school year.
So this is his first year?
Yeah, this is first year.
Oh, wow.
This is his first year in middle school, so.
Okay.
Well, he plays, like, the keyboards. My kids are gifted musically.
Okay.
So my oldest plays the bass, trumpet, trombone.
Okay.
My youngest plays the keyboard and drum.
So we can get our little band going and get like that.
Well, that was my ex-husband's thing. He wanted like a little...
The Jacksons.
Yeah,
like that. Yeah, I get that.
But we didn't have enough kids, so...
You just adopt some kids. You bring them in.
So, yeah, my kids are music.
You know, because one of them could be like Prince, when Prince started out, you know.
Man, if they have that kind of talent,
Right.
God bless them.
Where they just teach themselves and they, you know. And then on the album, he produced the, you know, they can produce the whole album themselves.
Yeah, they can put me in a really nice nursing home. That's all I ask.
Well, what nursing home? Soldier's home. You don't have to go to the nursing home. Go to the Soldier's home in Barstow.
No, I want to do the one in Tyndall.
Tyndall? Oh, yeah. I saw that one. That's really nice.
And they just refurbished it.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Yes.
Really nice. So, you recently heard about the proposed Trump budget. What are your thoughts about that? Have you read about it?
I'm terrified for our country.
And why is that?
Because when you cut essential health benefits, and with the CBO score, it's not as bad. It's not 24 million, now 23 million. Woo!
Are going to be kicked off, right?
I'm just concerned because it's going to be eliminating a lot of benefits. We're talking about medical research that benefits a lot of people.
Yes. HIV testing and, you know.
And HIV research.
Right.
HIV
Cancer research,
cancer
right.
research. And I have a girl, my whose son was diagnosed with muscular disease. And they're doing research on it. Now she's wondering if this research money is going to be cut. You know, the life expectancy of her son is now reduced because of his diagnosis.
Right.
So, you know, it's these things that I wonder if the Republicans, because I know, I can tell you right now, Trump did not draft this.
No, it's not. He's not even paying attention.
He's just here to
Sign and document, right.
the babies and all this other fun stuff.
And push people out of the way.
I wonder. Oh my God.
He pushed him out of the way.
He pushed that poor prime minister.
I loved it. I love Americanism at its best.
And you know, and you've been overseas,
Yes.
and you know how they think of us.
Yeah, already.
They already think that we're just a bunch of arrogant jerks.
Right.
And now for
It's been confirmed. It's been confirmed.
It's like we go to Paris and complain about the toilet paper.
Right.
Now we go overseas.
Just push people out of the way. I'm first. I'm the.
But you know, that's a New Yorker for you.
Oh my God. Yeah. Nothing against my New York friends, but yeah, you guys are so brutal. You guys really out there. So
it's scary, and I think that, you know, taking the left, the right, Republicans, Democrats, taking it out of it, we have to realize that we are all people, and once we've taken that humanity out of it, and now you have people literally, especially veterans, people are panicking right now because they're wondering if their insurance is if they're going to lose their insurance. And
they are.
That causes chaos in the market as well.
Right.
And people don't understand that because insurers are kind of on tilt right now. They don't know what's happened, and that causes them to panic. So,
well, could you answer a question? Why does the Walton family need a $52 million tax cut at our expense?
Why is it that and that's why I don't shop at Walmart. I don't shop at Sam's Club anymore. I don't like Walmart, and I don't like their practices. I don't care if they are dirt cheap. I'd rather pay a couple bucks more and go to Target. Right.
But in this budget, it's basically a tax break for those that can afford. It's really they said it's like $152 billion move for the 1%.
And I'm definitely not a part of the 1%.
You're close.
I wish I was.
You're close.
I'm working that way.
Yes.
But again, when your bills, your policies, your legislation is geared towards the rich, and it omits the elderly, the sick, and the disabled, and people are okay with it, that really shows that the tide has turned in our society, where we've become, where empathy is non-existent, and I don't think I'm a liberal per se, because there are some things I'm quite conservative on. But if
you're a Christian. Yeah.
Well,
you know, doing for others that don't have, that's a Christian.
I think that and I was always taught that if you're able to do for others, then you do that.
Right.
So when I see that there are people out here actually struggling, and, you know, I'm blessed. And
yes.
I will say that, you know, I'm fortunate that...
Right decisions at the right time.
Well, yeah. And, you know, I'm fortunate that, you know, I have insurance that I don't have to worry about. My kids don't have to worry about. I don't have to worry about these. And
you're actually double insured.
I am double insured. So when I have people that I'm friends with that are struggling because they have a copay really high, or they don't have the adequate insurance to cover them, you know, because catastrophic insurance, when something catastrophic happens, you're not worried about paying, you know, that bill until after it happens. But when you get these $120,000, $200,000 bills, or you're having a baby and it's just $6,000 off the top,
right?
It's like, my God, this has become a business and not the art of helping people. And that's why I disagree with the fact that a country should not, in some respects, should not be ran as a business. Because
it can't be.
This isn't people, human beings. We're not. It's not something you can trade, or something that, you know. It's not commodities,
right?
You know.
Well, government doesn't produce anything, so it really can't be a business. And Trump is finding out with the checks and balances. You just can't say something, and it's going to happen.
But even just the normal conversations that we have locally about our own local elections, a lot of people. I mean, how ugly people talk to one another, and it's like, we can agree to disagree, and I'm never going to go on the internet and fight somebody, because that's just not the way my paycheck is set up.
No, twist it all the way. There you go. Yeah, twist it all the way around.
Like
There you go.
Okay, so the way, you know, the way I'm set up, I don't really argue with anybody over the internet, because I will see where you're coming from. I may not agree with it. But again, I'm going to respect your opinion. And just like I had posted this article about the gentleman in Montana, their election special.
Yeah, the guy
and
body slammed that reporter.
Yeah, and the statement that he put out, didn't even jive.
That was crazy.
A Fox News reporter was in the room, and she was like, "Look,
yeah, I was there.
The way this man was handled was ridiculous." And everyone, and then someone posted, "Well, that's what he gets for being a liberal." That's not.
What does a liberal have to do with anything? It's a title.
It's
so what if you're a liberal?
That people put on.
What if you're conservative? You're a stupid conservative.
But what is it? The man asking about the CBO score.
Right, that just came out.
Jeez, you know, and apparently now it's come out that this guy's anger
issues, issues. Millionaire, of course.
But of course, again, we need to get back to a point where civility, because I know a lot of people don't get a chance to step outside the United States, step outside California, but we are looking.
A majority of Americans do not leave the United States. When President Bush was first elected, as rich as this guy supposedly is, when he first went to Brazil, he made the statement, "Oh, you guys got black people down here too." He had never been outside the United States with all as well.
So, I mean, when I lived overseas, you know, one of the things that I stopped doing was listening to American media.
Yes.
I started listening to, to Sky News,
BBC, the real news.
Yeah, real news. And how we are portrayed and how people see us. It's exactly how we're acting right now.
Exactly.
Like a bunch of savage, self-centered animals.
Well, what I would hope is that people stop. Okay, it's like us being in the military. We were in the military. You could be a Republican, I could be a Democrat, this guy could be independent, this could be whatever, right? But it's country before party, not party before country.
And that's the thing. I am a libertarian because I left, and because I don't consider myself a Republican, and I for damn sure don't consider myself a Democrat.
But you're conservative in your...
I am conservative in a lot. And I'm very...
Because you have kids older.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not as wild and as so carefree as I used to be.
Right.
But again, life experience brings you a little bit more wisdom. So when people get mad and they get in their feelings and say, "Oh, you snowflake," really? Is that your witty comeback?
Yes.
If we can't have a conversation like adults, and where you have to throw out racial slurs or screw you, you dirty bum, or
or you idiot, get serious.
I love when people tell me to get out of the country. First of all, I served this country, so I will be the last person.
And it's always the people who never say things like that. So
it's just one of these things where we have to stop attacking people, start talking
to each
other and listening.
Right.
And it's people just are so wound up. Like I'll post something just for fun because it's fun.
Yeah.
I find it to be
or
funny.
Something to think about.
And then someone jumps in their feelings, and then it's, I can't believe you're attacking Trump. Well, first of all, this was funny.
Right.
So,
did you see the one that I put up? He's grabbing Hillary by the cooch.
That.
Yeah, that one was just something that was really,
probably lost up in Hillary. Ugh.
I turned that one off.
Yeah. Well, you're to the right, so that's very insensitive of you to do that.
No, it just sometimes I use networks where that wouldn't be very tolerated well.
Yeah, that's very good too. But anyway, Ty, we wish Dominic a great recital. I know you have to go at 5:00.
Yeah, I have to go in a little bit.
But we're going to be hearing more from you with the Loving the Skin I'm In app, and that's going to be coming out very, very soon. We're looking forward to that. I'm getting a lot of feedback on that, so we can you ladies to drop that as soon as possible. Give us at least a little taste, and again, check us out. Is it? I think you're going to get through it. If you need any help with business math, I'm an expert in that. Trust me.
As a
and economics, macro,
actually,
micro.
I'm doing principles of micro.
Okay. You could clip.
I don't have time.
Yeah, you don't have time, right?
I don't have time.
Okay. So Tay is going to be doing that. She's going to go see her son and perform. And please take pictures and let us know how he does and everything like that.
I'm so excited.
And we're going to be catching up with you later on in the week.
Yeah.
All right, that's Tay. Now, finally, Mr. Moreno Valley, Daryl Terrell has graced us with his presence. And far to the right, Sean, gun him down 4 times. He's in the house. And we do the show from the City Hall, but unfortunately, we don't have any chairs to do. And it would have been loitering without a meeting going on and all the hassle and stuff like that. And
that's crap.
Yeah, it's a crappy thing to do.
Okay.
It would be loitering because what are we doing there?
Can we hang out in Gutierrez's office? He's never there.
That's what I told him when I was down there.
Yeah, so. How many days or weeks or months or whatever has it been since Gutierrez promised a meeting?
It's almost been a year.
Yes.
It's almost been a year.
Yes.
It's been a year. So, and the meeting has nothing to do with me. It has to do with a constituent in District 1. But again, that problem was solved by others, and there we are. And again, there was an award given at the county for the women. I guess Denise Fleming wasn't a recipient, and Daryl, you're laughing. I think we talked about. Yeah, she was a recipient. It's a women's award. And please forgive me for not remembering the exact specifics of the award, but it's a knee cause. Carrie Thin was involved with that, and congratulations to all those ladies who won. I didn't know anything about it. I asked what the criteria was, and to me, it just seems it's friends giving friends award. That's just my opinion. But then Carrie Thin said that there's a package, I guess, that they do. And I just wanted to know what was the criteria that Denise Fleming got an award. What did she do? And
what was the criteria to fit Denise Fleming?
Yeah, I don't know. But again, congratulations to all those ladies that are that received awards in the county. So as going, Daryl, what's happening?
No, I attended the Peace Officers Memorial. It was well attended. It was really touching. It was touching. They honored the 2 fallen officers in Palm Springs and all the officers that's over the years have lost their lives in defending us. And it was
defending us or killing us. It depends on what side of the coin you're on. I mean, so.
But yeah, it was touching though. All the family members and it was tearjerking because I was sitting here thinking about the young lady that got killed in Palm Springs.
Yes.
And her little baby and her husband. It was just, man, growing up knowing where her mom died for, and just, it was in the bagpipes and the flyover.
Yeah, I don't have a problem. The problem is that the police have been militarized, and I don't agree with that. Call me old-fashioned, but, what happened to the days of Andy Griffith? Andy kept his shotgun in the car when it got really hectic. He didn't have to run around because people respected the badge.
The problem is people are being brought up to have no respect, have little to no respect for anything or anyone.
True.
Because, look at the rash of crime.
Yeah.
Looked on, Moreno Valley Matters, just the rash of crimes that's been going on.
Right.
Some people shatter windows and shooting BB guns in people's back windows. People don't have a respect.
Okay, so if you go back 15 years and you go to California, what was going on over there?
The Wild Wild West.
Wild Wild West. Now, most of those people came out here about 15 years ago, and that same behavior now implanted here in Moreno Valley. I wonder why. Because it's the same people.
I just wish we had more of a police presence in Moreno Valley.
You can't afford it.
I was discussing that on Facebook too, with Reno Matters, and some people keep saying that if we have a private police force, we'll have more cops on the street.
Sure we. But how are we going to afford it?
Well, if we can't afford it, we're not going to have those cops.
Right.
We're not going to have the SWAT team. We're not going to have the helicopter.
We're not going to have any support other than bodies running around with guns. No support. You'd have no support. And then if we did call in support, we would be charged $20,000 to bring in that helicopter that we don't have.
But the thing is that we've got people in office that voted to cut police services as it is. So, what?
You mean back and forth Baca, who I'm for this, and then it's not popular, and people are getting upset, so I'll vote for against it now.
Basically, yeah. I don't think Baca really likes the police that much.
No, and they don't like her.
The other side of it, of course not.
Exactly. Yeah,
but it just kills me. Okay, because that whole council meeting where all these people were talking about ethics, bring ethics to Reno Valley, and we need to start voting people.
Wasn't that hypocritical?
But I'm like, you morons are the same people that voted for Baca, and you have the audacity to sit up there and talk about you want to bring ethics back in. You want ethics to council people?
How long has Scott Heveron been crying for ethics? I think at least 5 or 6 years, ever since the corruption.
Pick a side of the street to stay on. It's either you want the ethics or you don't. You condone the behavior or you don't.
Right. Well, it's just like some of the Highland Fairview employees say, either you're ethical or you're not. Remember that one guy?
Everyone that's associated with Highland Fairview is unethical.
Wow, are you the only one that noticed that, or is it just me? That's exactly why I started all this. That's exactly what I've been saying. I don't know why Mr. Moron keeps bringing me up.
You really...
I broke his brain. I broke his brain.
Broke that man's heart.
I think he's in love with me.
Why. He just
I think he's in love with me.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like...
I know, Pastor Don. He cries to Pastor Don. I'm just hurting him.
Did to the boy,
well, it's because I point out the fact that he believes in forcible rape. That's a fact. And if it wasn't a fact, why isn't he suing me? Daryl, why isn't he suing me? If what I'm saying is not true, why isn't he suing me?
I agree.
He brought him up today in a conversation that had absolutely... You weren't even a part of the conversation.
Hey. When they're not talking about you, that's when you need to start worrying. Yeah. So, but Daryl, what else you got going on with the county?
Well, no, I was thinking about what you were saying about the police and how the crime has shot up. And see, that's one of the things I agree with Sean about concealed weapons.
That's one thing we all agree on.
I think you should have them. And as far as having your own police force, ludicrous. It's crazy. You can study it, but it would be out of you committing fiscal crime.
Now, it would be different if we had Google or Microsoft or Tesla headquarters, and we're bringing headquarter type people to bring us this big revenue, or we had an active base where we had $50 million that was pumped into the local economy. then yeah, we can go ahead and get our own police force because we have unlimited money. But no, we have warehouses. How much money is that bringing us? We can't even get security guards.
You can't even get some of those warehouses filled.
Yeah, because I see those postings all the time. $11 an hour.
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole thing about having is the liability. You know, the reason why you read the article, I think it was like $32 million in liability from
insurance.
Insurance. Think about it. If we had something like that in Moreno Valley, bankrupt the city.
Yeah, one incident. That's why when I was at City Hall today, I was like, okay, are they going to beat my head in or not? Let me just take a chance.
Think about those lawsuits. There needs to be a couple of those.
Is that a Republican agenda point? Because they're talking about doing that nationwide.
They give these people, some lowlife gets shot, the family gets $5 million just because some liability lawyer is afraid to put it in front of the jury. I mean, I think we should use the same rules that we use for payouts in 9/11, where it's like you get $250,000 base and $100,000 per dependent, and
I
just don't think there is any amount of
that you could put on a life, right? Even though a human body is actually only worth $25. But go ahead.
Well, a lot of these people have set the price of their life very low to begin with.
Yeah, that's
their actions.
Well, if you put yourself in a situation to where you are, I'm not going to demonize every criminal because I don't think every criminal needs to die, because I do think people can redeem themselves. But if you're innocently shot by the police or by whatever, or Walmart truck hits you or whatever, and they're at fault, I don't think there's a dollar amount that would ever, if it was a family, there's not a dollar amount that can bring that person back.
Right, or you lost your ability to walk.
Yeah, I don't think you can put a price on that.
Well, if that's the case, then I suppose it would be change the law to have it where give them a posthumous trial. If they're innocent, then they can go for the lottery check. If not,
well, I agree with you. Well, why don't we just have the same standards as the policeman? Okay, you killed this person. We got it on video. The window was up. But guess what? You're not guilty. You go back to work. No problem. That's what I'm saying. It just depends on what side of the coin you're on. It's a rough thing. But Daryl, with the police, what is your thing that you think that Moreno Valley should do?
Well, I think first of all,
okay.
We budget for 8, because the increase we budget between wherever the counties, but we budget up to $8 million. Okay, so the contract increased to 5.14%. So that means to me that means you have a $3 million. You're gonna have a 3% savings. Okay. So my thing is, put the savings and put more police officers on the street. I mean, you budget for 8, but it's at 5, so that means 3%. I asked that question. So you are going to have a savings. Put it into put more police on the street, because we do need more police on the street. And that's just plain and simple. You can't balance the budget on police cutting police force. That's ridiculous.
Well, I believe that we should have more police on the streets, but I also believe that they should have at least an associate degree, because I think these guys should be making 6 figures in overtime and whatever else they're doing with a high school diploma. And and if you go to some of these cops, no. And if you go to some of these cops,
they've got a really crazy job, and they take
it is crazy, but you got to know your job. You go to some of these cops, they don't even know the Constitution.
Well, you know what? The military does a whole lot too, and we still get paid full. But anyway.
Yeah, we get paid.
Bupkis.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Did you see the article in PE where they talked about they were talking about overtime in Riverside County? How one individual racked up $275,000 in overtime alone.
I mean, how? How do you do that?
I don't know.
I was like, how?
But they can do it. But they can do it.
Working double shifts.
Yeah, he's working double shifts, and whatever he's going to do. But there should be. I mean,
it's crazy.
And then he's probably senior. And he's probably taking all the overtime. Everybody gets
$275,000.
And we're paying that. How many other officers could you have bought for the year? That's at least 3 officers right there, right?
Well, yeah.
So.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The biggest cost of our police is labor costs. That's the big part of it. You can hold everything in place, but you got pensions and things like that's voted on by other agencies.
Well, that Cal Piers, we got to get out of that Cal Piers thing.
But look at, we got unfunded liability that we need to be trying to pay too. And for the city itself, I think it's around 32 million. If I'm not quite sure the figures, I have the figures. But that's something to be eating up at all our money if we don't get a hold on that unfunded.
Well, with all the corruption going on in the Inland Empire and especially Moreno Valley, did you guys see the picture that Mr. Idiot Mayor Gutierrez now is putting out? If anybody listening has a brochure or that postcard where he's endorsing Criberis because he's using his badge, and how many times did people tell him you can't do that, whatever the deal is, and all of a sudden now he's covering it up.
Well, people kept calling over the city staff complaining.
Right.
And
I was one of them. Yes.
I know you were one of them, but so I guess he was like, I'm just gonna put like an emoji right here.
Yeah. And it was the USP.
I think it's like an emoji. He put
I saw something that have the emoji. It just had the name and title was blurred out, but still had the tree logo where it's still obvious that he's a city official.
But the thing is, here you are, the mayor. You should know better. You know what I mean? And there we go.
The thing is, we expect him to know better, but when y'all voted for this deal, y'all knew Alberto Harris was not the smartest of men. No. So y'all handcuffed yourself to this dead hooker, and now you have to lay in bed with it.
That's it.
So good luck.
Good luck. All right, that's her final word as she's rushing off to go to Dominic's recital. Good luck to him.
It'll be video.
All right, great. Please put it up. We'll see a little bit later. So, back to what you were saying, Mr. Moreno Valley. If you were the mayor, how would we get these for us?
First of all, we just have to work with inside what we have right now. And the thing is, we would have to look at city management. We gotta look at city management and see who we need to, because we can't have a police force with city management we have right now.
Why? Because the salaries are too big?
Well, it's not only that, because you'll have people will use it as their personal security force.
True. Enforcement.
They'd let people. They have favoritism too. They'd want to be above the law for whatever they do. Doesn't matter if they were caught with a kilo of cocaine and a dead hooker in the trunk. They expect to let go.
Hooker in the trunk.
Well, that's what I'm talking. First, you got to look at that. Then you also, because some people say, well, we can control the cost. Yeah, you can control the cost to your own detriment, because you won't be able to get the quality people on there, because they'll go to Riverside County
once they get the training and make some more money.
Yeah, because they'll see, hey, we get a reduced cost. Then you're also looking at, again, the helicopters. You got an investment in those kind of police car, helicopter, SWAT teams, the backroom things that we are getting with our contract. So the thing is, we have to work within contract. I think it's not the time to do it.
I think part of the thing is we could adjust our strategy quite a bit. Well, like we've talked about already, the concealed carry would help immensely, but we've got people on the city council that don't believe in that.
They don't believe in checkpoints.
Yeah, they don't believe in stopping criminals in the first place.
Right, exactly.
But I think if
ICE is roaming around, they're making arrests.
Yeah, I think we need to emphasis on parole and probation enforcement.
Sure.
And I'm sure it would be very unpopular, but I was also using traffic stops, but very few tickets, mostly just written warnings, but you're mainly just have the motor cops looking for people that have warrants or are dirty.
Wouldn't it just be easier to go back to the county? Disincorporate and go back to the county.
I agree with that.
Hey, we're part of the county. The sheriff's got to cover us. We're done.
Well, that's the thing about it. Because
the sheriff has done an amazing job with his parole and probation enforcement.
Yes.
If there's a certain area that's having a problem, you just go look for the people that are already on a list of people that have been causing problems.
Right.
Problem solved.
Well, they're doing a hell of a job. What we have right now, I mean, they're solving crimes, but the thing is, we used to put the officer. We have the money to do it within the existing budget to do it. It's where you put your priority. 2 officers, we need more than that. We need to start backfilling. See, even with the old council, when we didn't have enough money to backfill officers, we took some away to put them in other areas, like in the park. What we did is we backfilled those officers. We haven't backfilled. We lost nine officers. We should be beginning to backfill those officers. That should be the number one priority right now, because you got to put police on the street. And I'm for putting more officers. We have the money to do it. Whether people like it or not, you have to. Because I'm tired of hearing those helicopters flying over. I guess in your area, my area too.
Right. No, there ain't that. Well, for a couple of days it was in my area, but it's back on the east side of the city. So,
but that's what I'm saying though. But the county has done a good job, and the county can have a more say so. But we cannot go sit there and tell the unions, hey, don't take this salary increase, blah blah blah. If you want to make those kind of changes, you have to go to board meeting, and of course they have been meeting with us, with the city council. But the thing is, the public doesn't know. And all we can do is listen and what the process is, and that's how I think if people get knowledge, education, and knowledge about the process, if it's going to go up, you got to think about why is it going up. Labor costs. The big chunk of your force is labor.
Okay, but how is it labor when dealing with the police force that sits around at a donut shop?
Well, you got to think about the pay.
They don't seem to have much time to sit at the donut shop anymore. They seem to be rushing from call to call.
Right.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But you think about like I say, the salaries, and police officers deserve to get those salaries. But at the time that we can't afford it, we should never give out those increases. So whatever.
Well, can't we get block grants to help the police in there?
I tend to think we could.
We do checkpoints and things like that, but I think Trump cut that out of the budget as well.
Checkpoints?
I think he's cutting all unnecessary stuff.
I've heard a lot of rumors about the budget. Just waiting to see the final draft.
The funny thing is, the Section 8, people were freaking out about Section 8, and I got all these calls from relatives and friends about, they're cutting the Section 8. Section 8 is a temporary thing. It is not a lifestyle. That house that you're in, you're not supposed to pass down to your daughter that passes. Here's the funny thing about Section 8. It really doesn't affect men because we don't get it. Okay, we don't get it. So
the Sheriff's Department has had some luck with Section 8 fraud enforcement too.
Yeah. Very, very, very good. But you know what I'm saying?
Also what you were saying about the helicopter. The helicopter doesn't come north of Ironwood as much as they go to other parts of the city. But for those of you in District 2, listen up. If we keep up with the city keeps up with the current policies, that is not going to last. Right, absolutely. We've got people that on the council that would rather enable hiding criminals and
things like that. Right.
They've got Baca has ties to the Brown Berets and La Raza and stuff.
Yes, and the Mexican this fictitious Mexican whatever.
Gutierrez is backed by Baca. You've got Cabreras, who is heavily
useless,
backed by those two.
Right. Which all comes down to Highland Fairview.
Yeah, and if we keep up this current trajectory in their law enforcement policy, or switch to any policy that would enable them to enable the open borders people and the sanctuary city people to push their agenda, District 2 is going to go to crap, just like many parts of the city have. Like
District 1 is already going to crap. So that's a good point, something to think about. But the thing is, a lot of people have just thrown their hands up, Daryl, and they have just decided to move.
Yeah.
So what's the answer to stop that?
Well, the answer to stop that is the fact that people, for me, I'm going to live here.
Yeah,
I like this, but for other people who leave, that's their own decision. But for us, we got to continue to do what we can. Even though it may be...
I'm getting tired.
I know you're getting tired.
About the only thing we can do is the same thing I've mentioned a year ago.
Pick up guns and start shooting the place up?
Not just... if someone breaks into your house, absolutely. If tries to rob you on the street, absolutely. But we need to increase our police force. If we can get the crime down, that'll help stop the people that actually they're paying taxes, have money to spend in the city from leaving.
But how can we do that when we keep building warehouses that attracts homeless, former inmates that can't get any other kind of job? How do you do that?
You don't. You've got to get rid of the people. that are in office or get them to wake up.
That's true. But
If we had concealed carry, it's known that concealed carry doesn't work equally across all neighborhoods, but it usually works better in like affluent white neighborhoods more than poor black neighborhoods. But that's fine. You use concealed carry as a deterrent in the north part of town, and you put the police more heavily in Edgemont. You rather than using them for lots of.
But Edgemont
tickets,
is quiet. The problems have been on the east side of the city.
Well, then send the cops there too.
And Edgemont is an old neighborhood. We're not the hood. We're an old neighborhood.
We'll just send the cops wherever in whatever
District 4.
Poor minority needed area it's needed. And like I said, you have traffic stops, but not necessarily write a lot of tickets. You're basically like fishing for people that are dirty, and you drive them out of town. And you've got FBI. Reports have shown for decades that the criminals fear armed citizen more than they fear a cop. So that
ask a black person. Black on black crime is the number one cause of death.
Yeah. So there's things you can do with the existing resources you have, but not if you've got a city council that all collectively has their head up their ass.
Right. Or they're very pro Mexicano type thing.
And they want to enable these people to not only prevent them from getting shot, but prevent them from getting deported.
Donald Trump is going to make the hood great again because he's stopping Section 8. He's stopping everything. But Daryl, what you were saying about?
Well, like you were saying, like Sean was saying about getting control of the crime, but also too, you look around your liquor stores. You got these smoke shops. You got all these things.
Check writing stores.
That feed
loan
on
stores.
Folks who don't have anything, who's hopeless and the thing.
Loan centers.
Yeah. So one of the things I would say is, point blank, we should have no moratorium on those people. We don't need no more. Yeah. Okay, that's just a superficial band-aid, but what the other thing is, we got to raise the bar. And I keep talking about when we have business that come in this community, we got to raise the bar. When you have 54% of folks 25 years or older who only has a high school education, attainment, and 77% don't have a college degree. So if you want the type of jobs to come in this community, you got to have a way of attracting. So you got to have what Germany did, a hybrid training apprenticeship program. That's what they do. That's the best way of getting kind of business in here. And I think because
I would have loved to have had a trade school program that was done through high school.
Yeah. And see, it doesn't help when you like at the school district again. We graduate all these people, but these kids
no job,
can't do math,
right? They can't read
or write, and we keep applauding them.
Yes, Moreno Valley. Yes,
it's nothing to be proud about when you have a guy that comes in and says, "Hey, guess what?
I got these jobs. But here are the requirements."
And they can't even do a arithmetic, a simple basic arithmetic.
Well, I walk around these neighborhoods and I look at on trash day. Kids can't even take the trash out without spilling it all over the curb. So,
well, that's what I'm saying. But the part of what we have to do, because it's throwing your hands up. I know a lot of us want to do, but I keep saying this, emphasizing education, training, specialized training, because it's going to be the key to get people out of poverty. Because if you don't, you continue to have these places, the retail business, they have sales tax, property tax. That's what the city wants. They don't care less about if you could be able to afford a mortgage on it. They could say, hey, guess what? Get 2 or 3 of them. You can live better. But no, that's not the way.
Well, the thing is that the city tends to waive all those taxes and fees for any of the big companies that would actually bring in the tax money.
Well, that's the thing. See, here's another thing about Gutierrez's. There's this program that's my program.
That was your program.
In fact, that's the first part of it. But the second part is to raise the bar. You got to create that pathway to the jobs that's out there right now. Because say, for instance, you have Carmen have some positions. Say we had a factory that's coming in here, and they come in, everybody says, yeah, jobs. Okay, are you trained? Oh, what you mean by that?
Right.
I have no training. You don't get a job. But see, us being a city, if I was mayor, I would go to that place and say, guess what, man? We have a program that we can work with the community college and youth, and we'll create a pathway for the kids or residents to go through. And when that place open up, you will fit right into that job. That's my
okay, and I agree with you on that. And this is why I don't believe the WLC is going to be built. Because this thing is 25 years out, right? Pending litigation. Do you see Highland Fairview building a technician area where you can train these young
But
people
also,
to do that.
Leo Benzivi will be 75 by then.
I think he'll be a little older than that. A little older than that.
It's not enough.
But do you see,
I
see
hear
my
what you're
point?
saying.
I mean, because you got to start doing this stuff. You can't wait.
Well, just like you said about your infrastructure, what you're talking about for trucking.
Right.
But see, the thing is, you can give all you want to, but it's not going to create the path to to the American dream for somebody. Like you said before, you got to have the infrastructure. But we don't have it. Instead, we send people to the community college. We give them a certificate. No job.
No job.
So you go through all this time. Okay, where's my job at? We don't have paths. That's what these career techs promise you. We will take your money, put you in debt, and get you a job.
Right, and then the federal government will come shut us down.
Yeah, you have no job. Then you say, "What happened? I spent $30,000."
Which is why we need to start changing these kids' minds and stop saying and stop being programmed to get a job. Start programming these kids to create themselves.
Exactly. That's another point. Just like you were saying, if we had this entrepreneurial spirit in this town, just like what you were just mentioning, that's the second part of it. You know, the second part, the first part is to have specialized training. Second part is to create the entrepreneurial spirit. You were saying small business, get these kids into their job.
Right. I don't see any Highland Fairview employee who's on the inside knowing what's going on. If I had the money right now, I would be making me a washateria to wash trucks, a transmission shop, a truck shop, all that stuff up, and setting a truck gas station. But none of that's being done right now because guess what? This thing isn't going to be built.
That's where you got the infrastructure. When
Right,
you keep
the
saying that
infrastructure.
because if you don't have the infrastructure, how are you going?
It's not going to work.
Well, you got to, like you were saying, where's the
Truck stop.
Truck stop. Where all the what do you call them?
All the stuff that's supposed to go with it, the fueling, the transmissions, the support.
All the cluster of industries.
Right, the industries that go along with it.
But
I mean, right now is the time these business guys should be saying they keep killing because the trucks are running around rampant right now.
It's like we put the cart before the horse.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's one of the big red flags to me about this whole project and all the supporters of Highland Fairview is that there are no other private investors that are on board.
Right. So if it's going to be built, it's going to be built. But we're going to get deep into that in the second hour. We're at the Starbucks on Fritz and Pigeon Pass Road, whichever way north or south of the thing. But we're here on Thursdays, 4:30 to 6:30. And if you got something to say, we've got a platform that is longer than 3 minutes for you to. Oh, I'm sorry, it's 2 minutes now. And you can come on the thing and say, and I want to give you guys a special shout out. Check out the Inland Empire and the Hot Seat Facebook page tonight because we've got our green screen rolling up again as we're getting ready to get into it. So this has been the Hot Seat Radio Show. This is the first hour. We're going into the second hour. We're going to continue that. Daryl Terrell, Sean Fortine, I'm Donovan Sadiq. We are going to be right back. Messages right after we pay some bills.